he was able to sit down with me and create a very, I would say, complete financial plan for my target age for retirement. The total price of the property was $328,000. My name is Ali Havasi and I'm in tech. The last 8 years I've been a manager. For somebody at my stage of life, and also for somebody who really wants to think about how they can retire at a comfortable age, it's really important to have good investments. I looked around, I looked on, sources, YouTube, looking for what are the best opportunities to invest in Germany. Well, many things came up. Of course, stock market, ETFs, lots of pension plans and everything. But one of them stood out to me, which was investing in real estate. It was really something that you could benefit a lot from tax reductions. I had a couple of friends at my workplace. One of them in particular connected me with the company and with Vasily in particular, and that was the start of everything. Did other interviews, like introduction interviews with other companies. What was different here was the simplicity of it, I would say. So it was much more simple to get started, to get information. The information was not really that segmented and segregated that I needed to put everything together to have a realistic picture of what everything means. When we say, okay, you're gonna get tax benefits. Well, what does that mean? How long should I wait until I get my first tax benefits? How financially strained would I be if I, instead of just doing this, do ETF investing and all those things? The deciding factor for me was that, like, my contact point, and I mean Vasily, made it very easy to get that kind of information. So we had like many meetings where he actually held my hand through, like, giving me segmented information, like diving deeper into what I really needed, what was my plans for the future, like if I'm saying that I want to retire early, what does that mean, with what age, and how much do I need to do that? So he acted kind of like a wealth building coach to some extent. That's why I continued with the company and got into a deal. I bought an apartment in Nuremberg. The total price of the property was $328,000. Of course, I didn't know where to buy, and I didn't know what kind of property I should buy, right? And those were really big, scary things always. Like, if I'm going to invest in real estate, what am I buying? Am I buying a new one? Am I buying an apartment that is, I don't know, 60 years old? What are the differences? Should I aim for something that already has a tenant? My contact point provided that information for me. And together we looked at the areas with good perspective in the future in Germany. I think what stands out to me was how much it was organic and personalized. I found this contact point which actually to some level cared about how much I'm going to get out of this deal, acted like in my best interests. This was definitely the first investment in real estate that I do in Germany, but I've done it in other countries before. And I think this one was the easiest. So I always hear that buying something in Germany could be like difficult, like could be bureaucratic, and there are many hurdles, there are problems. I think in my case, it was not that difficult because not doing everything myself. Yeah, this one was a satisfying experience, I would say. I would say how relatable Vasily was and how knowledgeable he was. Anything that I pointed out, he already had the experience in that. And he was able to sit down with me and create a very, I would say, complete financial plan for my target age for retirement. First meeting, I told him, like, I want to retire at this age, and say, okay, so if you want to do that, now let's work our ways backwards to see what kind of assets you can and you should procure from now until then to make that a reality. And to give directions, I think it shows that Vasily really, like, on one hand really cared about how that happened, and on the other hand was very knowledgeable and good at his job. Yes, I would recommend Neocore.